Hey now everyone, it's Phil here. It's time to make the chimichangas, you know what that means. It's Deadpool opening weekend. It's your newest edition of the Marvel DC crossover. And of course I'm here with our Marvel expert, Charlie Esser.
That's me, hello.
And our other comic book expert, the big DC expert, Miss Lilith Hellfire herself.
Hey guys, I'm actually happy to be talking about a Marvel movie. Unfortunately, it's in the Fox universe.
That's right, they can only afford 2 X-Men. So do you think they planned? Do you think they planned this movie? Do you think they've planned this movie for February? Because this is like the exact month. It's like Deadpool's 25th anniversary of his first appearance.
Oh, I would wager that was taken into account. I mean, look, there's a lot of reasons for the February date. One, it doesn't have a lot of competition in the theaters, especially from superhero films. Two, it does coincide with an anniversary, although that's more something that's in Marvel's wheelhouse than in Fox's. So that helps Marvel more than it helps Fox. And two, it is a bit of a romance story. The story they wrote actually does have a very romantic subplot. So it fits for Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. It was good marketing, and of course the color red fits into traditional Valentine's Day, iconography. So all in all, there's a lot of reasons to do it. So yeah, I doubt it was randomly selected, but I think that it worked out well for them.
I concur, Doctor.
That's Professor.
Yeah, it's all a false honorific, just like all supervillains, Yeah, no, it was. So I mean, do we want to? I assume we're spoiling the film, correct? Or are we not spoiling? Do we want to? Okay. Well, before we get too into it, one of the things I found kind of interesting was there was a lot of very interesting references throughout it. One of which was, of course, a lot of references to John Hughes films, which I thought was an interesting choice for Deadpool. Of course, you have him first referencing the I believe it's "Say Anything" with blasting the song from the boombox over his head. You have the reference to from the very beginning to I believe it's called "Better Off Dead." When he falls into the trash truck and goes under the underpass, and of course the end credit scene, which is of course a reference to Ferris Bueller. But my favorite Easter egg in the whole thing was the final battle. Did you all notice where the final battle took place?
Must have went over my head.
Yeah.
It was a junked helicarrier.
Yeah. Oh, is it a helicarrier?
Yeah, that was a shield helicarrier.
I thought it was like a aircraft carrier or something. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, if you look, there's like 4. It's an aircraft carrier, but it has the 4 big jets on the side. So yeah, it was clearly meant to be a helicarrier, I believe. I could be wrong. Maybe that is something in the way aircraft carriers look when they're dry docked. But from the look of it, it looked like it was an old discarded helicarrier that they were disassembling.
It could have been. They said there were so many Easter eggs and all kinds of inside stuff in this movie. It was...
You know what my favorite Easter egg was, right?
What, Stan Lee?
The Green Lantern collectible card. Just kind
of... Yeah. Well, you also had the Deadpool action figure, which was a nice reference to the Wolverine Origins film, and then of course, that Stan Lee did say this was his favorite cameo so far, and now we know why.
Yes.
The naked women?
No, he just loves being an announcer. It's just a lot of fun for him.
DJ.
Yeah, DJ. He loves to DJ.
They kept going on and on about, oh, there's so much nudity. I didn't think there was that much nudity in this movie.
No, well, this is the thing. I'm going to tell you something, okay? It got an R for language, easily.
Oh, yeah.
Its violence was not excessive, really. It was a little gory, but as I've said, I did not think it was particularly gory-er than Fantastic Four was, which easily got a PG-13. Additionally, you know, I'm going to tell you this right now. It did have enough nudity for an R. It did have enough nudity, enough language for an R. But the truth of it is, if you really want to know why it had an R, the entire reason it got an R was was during the sex scene. It was the International Women's Day. That's why it got the R. You know, I mean, just from the way that the MPAA does things, all kinds of, you know, when it comes to the way you do sex, anything that implies what International Women's Day implied, because of course we are still a family show, that is verboten, and so that would have gotten them the R, even if they did not have any nudity, even if they bleeped out all the language. So, you know, and what nudity? Yeah, well, it is. You know, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
Or would that strip club scene have even gotten them in the R? Because I mean, we didn't even see that much nudity there, but just the quick flash.
Well, the flash is enough, but the fact of the matter is that had they not, so for example, I mean, that was a Canadian strip club, which means it was topless and bottomless.
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I know.
Yeah. Yeah, and but you know, I mean, they could have easily made this a PG-13 film if they had wanted to. Obviously, they didn't want to, and they kind of felt that it was part of their central marketing idea that they couldn't do it as a PG-13. And in fact, I actually think that was like a whole big thing with it, was they were like, you know, because they made this thing, we're going to make it a hard R, and they made this sort of commitment to it. And, you know, it's easy to get an R. It's easy to get an R rating. It's not hard at all. And then once they got the R rating, they might as well play it up. But at the end of the day, what made it an R? I mean, like I said, I would not call this a hard R film. This is not like a trauma film, you know. You know, and as I was saying, you know, I was having discussions on Facebook about, you know, about what is appropriate and what is inappropriate, and you know, because people are bringing their kids to this because they're going to, and I don't think that in and of itself this film is something that you could not take a child to. I would not take my children to it because I don't particularly want to have all the conversations that are required for this. Or that could be required for this. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to have those conversations with your kid, I don't think they're bad conversations to have. You know, I don't think there was anything in here that would have made you go, oh, well, that's not good. And as I've said, you know, there's a lot of worse things on daytime TV, on Law and Order SVU reruns, that are a heck of a lot harder to talk to your kids about than anything that happened in Deadpool. You know, the violence was a little gory, but it was mostly, you know, cartoonish. It was explosion and quick and rapid, so that how much you actually dwelled on wasn't played up. So a kid watching it might not really get the level of violence that they're seeing beyond any other action film. And like I said, the nudity, it's shocking, but that's an American that's an American standard of nudity. You know, that's an American worry about nudity. And as I said, when you actually break it down, that whole relationship montage, let's say, even that, there wasn't anything that was particularly horrific. They actually strategically placed things throughout it. So that really you could edit it easily for TV. And, you know, the one thing that was the outlier was, you know, as we said, International Women's Day. And you'll notice that in that there was actually a whole thing, which if anything is going to cause an uproar on the internet about this thing, I'm going to say with that, it is Deadpool not being as into International Women's Day, because he goes like, no, well, they're in the middle of it.
And that's it for this time. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Come back next month, the end of March. Me, Charlie, and Lilith, and maybe we'll have a surprise guest or two. We'll be back to discuss a DC movie this time, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. But until then, all I have to say is, I never thought I would say it, but thank you, Fox Studios. Thank you, Ryan Reynolds. And thank you, all you smooth criminals out there. Good night.